wanted to say that, Sean, it's been amazing working with you and the team. And it's just all the leads that I'm getting are really well qualified. And it just feels really great to get warm leads because they're drawn to the services that I offer. So they're, people coming to me that are resonating with the messaging that you guys are providing, which is really awesome. And then, and when I call people, they remember the campaign, and they're really, really curious about the senior real estate roadmap and the potential of working with me. And some of them are people that are going to need to be nurtured, but that's what I love. I love building relationships with people and that trust, and that's important, to convert the lead. So, just want to thank you and your whole team. They've been super responsive. I love the Slack piece because we're just messaging each other, and it's just been a positive experience all around. And I got my first conversion and got a property that's going to be coming on the market in the spring for, over $800,000. So it's working
Yeah,
really well.
which is awesome because I know you kind of, and it's something, our entire goal here is to take agents who have an offer without really knowing they have an offer, right? A lot of
Hmm.
agents have package, like they have vendors that they know, they have different things that they really specialize in doing, but no one really knows that, or their ideal client doesn't know that. And I know even prior to working with us, you were still quite successful in real estate, right? But what's kind of the core shift that you saw? Because I think you did work with a lot of different companies, whether it be lead gen companies or whatever it was prior. Like, what's kind of the core shift you
Yeah.
saw?
So first of all, one of the things that I'm very good at, since I've been in sales for over 25 years, is networking. So, face-to-face kinds of networking with people that are also in the same niche that I'm in. So that's where a lot of my lead generation was coming from. And then, of course, referrals from clients who have used me and that sort of thing. So the differentiating factor with you guys is that as much as I understand marketing, I'm not always, sitting at home all day trying to, post on social media and that kind of thing. So you guys have been a great collaborative partner because you kind of give me all of the, little nudges to do the things that I really should be doing. And then you have created a lot of the content for me, and that is a real game changer. And so now the exposure and the visibility that I have across my area is really heightened. And I've gotten tons of likes on my Facebook page and things like that. And, the message is really resonating with people. And so even if it's not somebody that, initially signed up, let's say for my roadmap, it's just, we all know it takes at least 12 touches for somebody to actually take some action with you. So that exposure has really been.
Yeah. And this is all with us still now going into retargeting, right? So that's where it's going to become much more powerful as well. And I know when we were getting you on board, there was obviously hesitancies, as every agent does. I'm an agent, you're an agent. There's a lot of stuff out there, so to say, right? Where people will say, hey, like we'll get you these leads, we'll do this, we'll do that. So what kind of, if you remember back, what kind of made you hesitate or feel unsure before getting started with us? Or like anything that almost stopped you from moving forward?
Well, first of all, I'm a big person and philosopher in law of attraction. So I had probably put that out there, that I need a partner to do these kinds of things for me. Actually, I manifested that twice this year. I got a
Yeah.
great person that's doing my newsletter, because I'm like, I really need this help. And again, it's not that I can't do it, but I'm not out, generating business if I'm sitting in front of my computer trying to create a newsletter. And as much as I think that stuff is fun, it's just you can't be everything to, you can't do it all. And the other thing that is really important to me, and it always has been important to me, is that I like to feel like I'm on a team. And you guys really make me feel like we're all working together for a common goal, which really at the end of the day is helping seniors. And it's a big need that we have right now. Something I feel very strongly about is, helping people. There's a lot of people who are single out there and they're older And, I treat them like, family. And so I just feel like our mission is aligned and we are really helping people working together.
Yeah, and that's really the core difference between a model like ours, and I don't even like to compare ourselves to like lead gen companies, but like
Mhm.
just Zillow as an example, right? Or even like referral based companies. A lot of them, their core practice is it's kind of growing their own brand rather than the agent's brand. And that's where a lot of agents get stuck, right? Like where
Mhm.
they think, hey, I'll pay a 25% referral fee, right? Or whatever it might be. But then on the back end, they don't realize it's not really building anything towards their brand. It's more so just pushing the narrative for those referral companies because they're just selling you the lead after.
Right.
And that's one like core shift that a lot of agents are going through right now and realizing that, hey, like if you really want to ramp your business up, right, you have to kind of take it under your own wing and build something
Mhm.
out for yourself. And
Right. Yeah. And I had Zillow. So, and I am actually one of those people who was fortunate to, do okay with that. But it feels very different when you're paying for something like you said, and then it's not really pushing your business forward. It can help you like, let's say on an immediate kind of a thing, but then, long term, it's not really creating any exposure. And then again, to me, I'm a mission-based person. So, the leads you're getting are just kind of all over the map. So it's like if you really want to focus on listings, let's just say, that's not necessarily the way to go. And, is when this retargets and the campaign really keeps going and going, it's going to be a lot less expensive than using Zillow over and over and over again.
yeah, and people are
This
remembering
is
you,
really this
right?
is really compounding.
Yeah.
Um,
How did you mentioned prior, like the appointments coming in, they're qualified. How did the leads or like even the consultations that we were booking for you, how'd they feel different from what you were used to, maybe with any other ventures that you've tried on the lead side?
Well, the big differentiating factor is it's niche based. So the people that are clicking on my ads and the people that become a lead are people who match my skill set and what I have to offer. So that's very different than getting just generic leads. So you could have people, and let's not forget too. I mean, the people that press the button on
Oh, yeah.
Zillow, a lot of them are just like they like to like they have a beautiful home already and they just want to see some neighbor's house. You know what I'm saying? So, there's a lot of time wasted. I really don't, I'm too, too seasoned for that at this point in my career. If I
Yeah, I
was,
know.
a lot younger and I had nothing better to do, like great. But if you're the type of person that's supporting yourself solely, I don't really recommend that approach.
Yeah. And that's why like our core practice here is niche-based marketing
Mhm.
because truly like if you have something that you're good at on the back end when it comes to real estate. And there's a core audience that you know you can serve in your market, right? You put those two together and business comes in. A lot of times agents think, hey, why would I focus on a niche? It's going to really limit my business. But honestly, I've seen it do wonders for people and they do more deals than they would compared to trying to kind of be a generalist, right? And again, like if you know you can serve a core audience very well, right? It's a win-win on both ends, right? You're upping your business, but you're also helping out that audience at the same time, which is huge.
Yeah. Well, if you talk to any highly, highly successful realtor, they're all going to say it's focus on a niche.
Yeah. And then like even with where we're at right now, I know we're still pretty early in the process. It's only been about a month and a half, right? Less
Mhm.
than 2 months. I know
Yep.
we're still early in, but one thing that I always like to share and one like vision that just keeps popping into my head, right, is the idea of back in the day, right? Billboard era was huge. Even today, billboards work.
Mhm.
But billboards worked on the sense of not someone walking and seeing the number and calling you right away. It works on the sense of you have so many billboards that your face is always top of mind, which is
Mhm.
kind of what we're replicating here, but for a specific group, right? You wouldn't throw up a billboard for $5,000 a month. That's maybe just targeting seniors, right? Because then you think you're missing out on a lot more business. But with today's day and age, social media and targeting on Meta, as an example, you're able to
Mhm.
find that core audience and just target them. So your ad spend is only going towards the right person, right? And that's been
Right.
super important. And I'm sure you're probably seeing that, especially with retargeting ramping up now, right? Where your video is just going to get in front of them over and over again, and you can address any concerns they have. Even if they're a year out, right? They're going to see you every single day.
Hmm. Yeah. I'm a little old school, so I have my list of leads here. Um, and the thing is that, as a realtor, most of us are private investigators as well. And every one of the leads that have come in, are definitely in the demographic that, I'm well suited for. So I can attest to that.
Yeah. And just more into those leads there, right? You mentioned you have one listing going live. How much was that one going up for again?
That's going to be probably, 800 plus.
Okay, got it. And then also on top of that, anything else that you kind of have in motion right now or just in talks with
Yeah,
people?
yeah. I have another appointment with somebody that her property, she's looking to have somebody help her to downsize, help her to relocate. So she's thinking, it's kind of on the South Shore here. So I'm very knowledgeable about that area, so I can help her find a new property there. And then her property is somewhere in the neighborhood of $1 million.
Nice. Okay. And I know we had a couple of leads came in. You mentioned private.
Yeah, and I have other prospects too that I'm, connecting with, and I've also started an email campaign with others. So, the price points are ranging anywhere from 500,000 to $3 million.
Okay, got it. Yeah, which is awesome. And I don't know if we've discussed this yet, but on the ad spend side, you've
Hmm.
only spent we're only about $700 into ad spend, right?
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
honestly, like for Meta, that's a very sure sign thus far, right? Because even
Hmm.
if you can sell that listing come spring, right? Within $700, you have that one, and you have multiple other prospects that are ready to go. And typically for Meta, it does take a little bit longer for it to learn your core audience, right? Because they're testing different demand pockets. But I
Yep.
think with your messaging, it's so sure and it's so like directly targeting the right person that
Yep.
Meta has already found it, and now it's just optimizing further and further on that. Right. So
Yeah.
within $700, I honestly, that's probably some of the best results I've seen, right? In the lowest amount of ad spend, especially for a new campaign that just launched about a month and a half ago. Not even just a month and 10 days ago.
Hmm. Yeah. And the other nice thing about it is that as we go through the process together, it helps me to fine tune my messaging in person to people when I'm out networking and things like that. So just helps to solidify and that niche and makes me a better realtor.
Yeah. And one thing, sorry, I think I skipped over this before, but it was very important. You mentioned it feeling like a team when you're working with us, right?
Yeah.
And that's the best part about how we like to operate because honestly, for us, it's not very viable if the agent we're working with doesn't communicate with us. Right. And on it, like being very transparent, we're not perfect either, right? There's gonna be times where, hey, like I need this switched in the guide that we made, or hey, like I see like this little error in this automation because we don't just white label things. We don't just throw the same thing over and over again for every agent.
Mhm.
What we're building for you is custom to you, right?
Yeah.
So there's going to be a small break in the system. But
Mhm.
you've been so diligent on, hey, I just noticed that this guide has this wording, right? Can I change it to the city? Can I do this? Can I do that? And
Mhm.
that's what I truly see where agents succeed, right? When you look at this like a partnership, right?
Mhm.
We're not a Zillow. You're not paying us and just sitting around and waiting for leads. We're setting up this infrastructure where people in your niche know you and they need to work with you, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure you're kind of seeing how that's been a little bit different as well.
Yeah, I definitely see how that is a little bit different. And it does have a feel of working together. I used to work in corporate America and I had several other employees that I coordinated with. On the print side, also kind of marketing. And it feels very much like that, which I like because sometimes you can feel like you're on an island as a realtor. So I think this is really important, especially for those who are starting out, to feel very connected and mission based. So I think that's what makes it like really
Mhm.
fun to do.
Yeah, and honestly, like on our end, again, being an agent and then speaking with so many agents too, we see two different ends, right? One is the agent who's been in the industry for so long that's having a
Mhm.
hard time adapting to modern day technology and just modern day the way of marketing, right? But then there's your newer agents who don't really know where to jump in, but sometimes they also have an advantage because they're not really stuck in any old ways, right? They're
Mhm.
joining on modern day marketing and more
Mhm.
tenured agents see that sometimes like, hey, how are they a new agent and they're closing this many deals? Right? And it's truly
Yep.
because they've already adapted to what modern day marketing looks like.
Exactly. And I think somebody once told me that real estate is more about being like a production company rather than
Yeah.
being a realtor, because it's very much, all of that technology is so important to leverage in order to get that recognition out there and exposure. And without it, you're kind of behind the eight ball.
Yeah. And
And
it's
you
changing
guys have
so
kind of
fast.
caught me up on that, which is really great.
Yeah. Would you say kind of what we've set up here, has it changed your confidence level or like stress level as an agent or like,
Um, So I would say that the one area where I feel more confident is rather than cold calling, it's warm calling. So when I, you know, go through my list, I do have more confidence when I'm making my calls because I know that these people are interested in what I have to offer. So it's like if you compare this to like calling FISBOs, it's
yeah.
night and day.
Yeah, it's such a big difference, right? Because when you're calling FISBOs as an example, you're kind of pitching what you do. Whereas these people already have an idea of what you do. And if they go through to the landing page, they see the guide, they already
Mhm.
have an idea of what the process really does look like with you directly.
Yeah. And they can, with the videos and things like that and retargeting, it's going to be like they feel like they know you versus like they have no idea. They just think this is spam calling and,
Yeah,
that kind
no,
of
I'm
thing.
super excited for the retargeting to get started because people want to answer your call at that point because they
Yep.
see you're pretty much answering their questions without them ever even needing to ask you. And for them,
Hmm.
it's this person's top of mind, and you become the natural educator that they trust. Regardless of if they've worked with another realtor in the past, they see it
Hmm.
as, hey, like Katie here is the one that can help me with my unique situation, right? I need to work with it
Exactly.
because there's more benefit for me, less stress for me doing it, and all of that.
Exactly. Exactly. People are too busy to handle, this whole big piece, the one-stop shopping and all of that. And I'm working with the client right now, who, we work to help his mom. And, she'd been in a residence for a very long time. And we actually sorted through all the things with her. And she's such a lovely lady. And, it took months, and, I have that level of commitment. And
Mhm.
so that's the kind of person that we need. And then I renovated her condo for my client and got it on the market, sold it for 25K over ask. And they're absolutely ecstatic. And
Yeah.
and it's been just a wonderful working relationship. And they're so happy that they can, work with somebody who can take care of all of their needs, including moving their mother into an assisted living facility. And they brought us flowers that day. My client had a tear in her eye when she saw how beautifully we had placed all of her items. And it's very, very rewarding.
Yeah. No, I love that. Again, a win-win, right? You get to improve your business,
Exactly.
but you're helping out a very not you're helping out seniors and they need help, a lot of them. Because if they sell with one thing is they either go sell with a traditional agent who's just gonna sell their house, no help further, family has to figure it out themselves. Or one big thing we see now is those cash offers where they get kind of sucked into a cash offer because it's a
Mhm.
very urgent move and they feel like it's the only thing they can do.
Right. It's almost like a short sale and they're missing out.
Exactly. Yeah. And other than that, like who would you say kind of what we do here at Scale My Niche, like who is it for and who is it not for?
So I would say it's really for people who want to build an online presence and want to be known as the go-to person for their particular niche. I think it's really good for the people who are, kind of in this gray area, like they don't even know who they serve. So to get really clear and focused on the markets that they want to serve. And I think this kind of an arrangement is much more fulfilling um, than just kind of being very scattered and not really knowing where your level of expertise is. And, some people are very geographic and that's all well and fine, but this gives you a lot more control over the narrative. And I don't know about anybody else, but I want to be able to, control the clients that I work for, the type of projects that I'm working on, the pricing level, luxury, kind of environment. And this way, you feel like you really have a very niche focused business. And when you have that level of clarity, that's how you're going to build and scale.
Yeah.
And so I highly recommend it for anyone that's in that kind of gray area. And then I do recommend it for people who are just starting out in real estate who really don't have the level of knowledge about the marketplace to really get started and jump in. And I think it's just a great way. I think it's a very good investment because I think you guys can guide somebody like that as to just have a conversation with them and say, geez, you're really good at this. And we have other people in our network that do this type of thing that might be a good fit for you. And, they might resonate with them. And, then they're kind of, jumping,
Yeah.
almost exponentially to a level that it would take them a long time, maybe 5 years to get to.
hmm Yeah, that's awesome. I love how you said that. And if there were someone who's maybe watching this, and let's say they're on the fence about working with our team, what's kind of a message that you would share with them if they're in front of you?
So, first of all, in any business situation, you have to be very, dedicated to investing in yourself. And if you don't invest in yourself in your business, you're going to work, it's going to take you 5 years to accomplish what you could accomplish in 12 months.
Yeah.
And so I highly recommend people making that investment in themselves in their business. I feel like you guys like hold hands with your clients every step of the way. So it's not like another kind of lead gen kind of a situation where it's like if something's not working, well, there's really nobody there that's going to help or change anything about that or tweak anything. It's, you guys are there to help that person evolve and their business evolve. Because, yeah, you guys are highly focused on win-win situations.
Yeah, no, I couldn't have put it any better. I really appreciate that. And honestly, Katie, it's been a pleasure working with you thus far. I'm very, very excited to get retargeting rolling because
Mhm.
I want more people to know about your offer, right? And even the people who've came in, again, 12 touch points, right? It's not
Mhm.
really easy to do 12 touch points on your own, but with the automations that are going on in the back end, plus retargeting, again, most important thing, with retargeting, they're going to see you every single day. You're going to answer their questions. And when they're ready, they're going to reach out to you, right? You show up 3, 4 times. By that point, you're the natural educator, and they really do look and seek your assistance.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I really wanted to scale my business. And by having this kind of a campaign, it's basically like I'm selling to a magnitude of people, the volume that I could never do on my own without this tool. So I'm very excited about it. And I'm very excited about continuing to work with you guys and growing my business and helping people who need my services.
Likewise, let's do it. Excited to get everything rolling, and thank you for everything so far.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.